Good, pause on YouTube. 6ftHax here. Have for you guys today a very interesting and fun PU Wi-Fi battle. It's actually been a while since I've uploaded PU, man. I've been trying to get PU battles and I finally was able to get one, so really excited to be uploading this for you guys. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to hammer that like button down below to answer the question of the day, which is right beside me. So yeah, let me know your answer to that in the comment section below. So I'm using this pretty cool PU team. I actually don't remember where I got this team, but I know it's not mine. I'll leave a link to the placement of it down in the description for you guys to go check out. As looking at my opponent's team, it's very interesting. Like there's not too many things I noticed off the bat that were going to be entirely too problematic. Like, I don't really have a good sleep fodder on this team if I lose my mag mortar, so I've got to be careful around that Shinotic. Also, potentially, like, banded Alolan Dugtrio could maybe be a problem, but honestly, I don't even know what Alolan Dugtrio carries, so if it is banded, I should be able to kind of play around it accordingly. And then Drampal, if it's specs, could possibly just get a free KO every time, so I have to be very careful around that as well. So, he ends up leading off with a Meowstic, because I'm going to be leading off with my Mesper. Now, typically, I see Meowstic just try to go for dual screen, so I didn't want to get up my rocks if I plan to try and go for the defog with my Skuntank as it is anyways to potentially get rid of his dual screen. So I go straight for the U-turn into my Gastrodon here. Thankfully I do have the Toxic. Nothing on his team is going to want to take this Toxic, and the only thing that switches into Toxic is destroyed by my dual stab. So I was very confident that he would stay in here, just wanting to potentially get up a screen, as he ended up setting up the Trick Room right away. I'm not sure why he did that. Maybe he should have gone for his screens initially, or maybe he thought that I was gonna be like a taunt, and I guess maybe he could have had the wider, but I'm not too sure why he went for Trick Room first as opposed to getting up the screens. But realistically, it's not even that big of an issue, because I can just go ahead and bring in my Skuntank. Actually, it kind of helps him out that he went for the Trick Room so early on before getting up his screens, as you guys are about to see here. So I do manage to go ahead and get rid of his screens with my defog, as this turn I will switch directly into my Gastrodon on this potentially offensive, well, most likely offensive Alolan Dugtrio. I thought that maybe he would be Life Orb or Choice Bandit, as I mentioned earlier, so yeah, I'm able to take the Earthquake here. Unfortunately though, because for some reason this team had purely Spadef bulky Gastrodon, I can't take two Earthquakes, and because the Trick Room ends, I can't stay in and go for a Recover or an Earthquake to try and get back up to full HP or potentially knock out this Dugtrio. So again, this is where him going for Trick Room so early on actually helped him out, because it ends when I needed it to be up. So I end up switching directly into my Mesprit here, as I will take this chance to get on my Stealth Rock. He does reveal to have the Sucker Punch, as he then ends up going for the Iron Head. And now this turn, expecting him to want to go for the Sucker Punch once more, I'm going to decide to make an aggressive switch directly in to my Floatzel, which if you guys saw from Team Preview, he actually has no real safe switch in to Floatzel here. And can I just point out that it's very odd how Floatzel uses Hydro Pump. I don't know who on the design team thought that that would be a smart idea. Why? He can just open his mouth. Why have him shoot it out of his butt, essentially? That's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I'm sorry, but that just, yeah, that's really odd. So I'm gonna end up switching out here into my Mesprit, and this was actually a really bad play on my part. Like, I 100% should have just gone for the Ice Beam, because I didn't want to risk missing Focus Blast, because knowing my luck, I would have missed Focus Blast. At least by going for the Ice Beam, I still would have done at least like 40 to almost 50% to this Drampal. And now he's a +1 special attack and special defense, and this is very problematic. So I'm gonna try to bring in my Skuntank here in hopes that I can do enough damage to put him in range of where I can then bring in my Abomasnow and knock him out with a potential offensive Blizzard, because even at +2, if he has max HP, I still do about 50-ish% with the Blizzard. So all I really need to do is Poison Jab here and potentially just keep him at roughly 50-ish%. If not, then I can put him in range of where Blizzard plus Hail will hopefully knock him out. Actually, no, he's got leftovers. What am I talking about? No. So I can put him in range of where I can then revenge kill him with something else if I do not knock him out with the Abomasnow. But he actually switches out here, and this is really good for me because I'm actually able to knock out the Shinotic, which again, I didn't really have a good sleep fodder for. And I'm guessing that maybe he thought I had the Haze, which is why he switched out, because if he was max defense, max HP, he could have definitely just stayed in there and 1v1 my Skuntank and potentially got 2 KOs. So I end up knocking out the Shiinotic, as in comes the Lycanroc. I can live any one hit from this. If he is Jolly and if he is Adamant, I think I actually do end up outspeeding him, which is really great here because it does turn out that he's Adamant. As I hit him up with the Poison Jab, do get a little bit lucky and I get the poison. I'm not too sure how much that poison in the long run of this battle really ends up mattering. Like, it's definitely nice that I was able to knock out this Lycanroc, but I would have been perfectly fine if it had been a double down between us. So I'm able to knock him out with the Sucker Punch and Toxic Damage, as back comes this Meowstic, which is still slightly annoying and kind of an issue to deal with. As I go for the Defog, the main reason I went for Defog was because I thought that he was going to go straight for one of his dual screens. This way I could get an extra turn of toxic damage on him and potentially get him to basically wear himself down by staying in and still trying to get up screens if you wanted to do that. So it does suck that I defogged away my Stealth Rocks, but at the same time I didn't really think it was that bad of a play. As this turn I'm going to switch into my Gastrodon. On the off chance that he did want to stay in and try to go for his screens, I could go for the recover with my Gastrodon, allowing me to potentially take on the Drampal 1v1 as long as he didn't have the Energy Ball. As we actually both switch out here, and it turns out that because of Trick Room, I'm actually able to outspeed this Drampal, which means I can safely go for a Toxic this turn. And even if he had switched out, Meowstic is already poisoned, and I can Toxic his Alolan Persian, which at this point are his last 2 Pokemon along with this Drampal. So the fact that I'm able to get off this Toxic on Drampal means that now I have it on the timer. Now it's not really that big of an issue if he does want to try and keep boosting up against my Gastrodon. Not to mention that I am max special defense, max HP. Again, don't agree with that set, but it's what the team had. So unless he gets up a couple boosts, then there's no way he's going to be able to one-shot my Gastrodon if I'm able to get back up to max HP here. But realistically, I'm honestly in a very good position to just keep spamming Earthquake over and over, because it turns out that he most likely is not max defense, max HP, because that Earthquake is doing a really solid amount of damage, which means Poison Jab from my Skuntank earlier most likely would have put him in range of where I could revenge kill them with my Abomasnow. So that would have been really great, which is probably more of a reason why he switched out, so he wouldn't have to take so much damage from my Skuntank. As at this point the Trick Room does end, so he is going to be able to pick me off here with the Dragon Pulse. I believe he is at +3 special attack and +2 special defense because he did get the boost from his Berserk. So what this now allows me to do is bring in my Abomasnow, because he is below 50%. Even if he is max HP, I can definitely knock him out with a Blizzard because I am an offensive life form variant of Abomasnow. So it does not matter if you are at +2 special defense, because this will be able to finish off the Drampal at about 45-ish%. As down goes the Drampal. At this point you would think that I'm in an excellent position, right? Like, it's 5v2. This thing is toxic. All he has is the Alolan Persian in the back, right? But I end up making a bit of a bad play here. So it didn't dawn on me until I click Ice Shard that if he gets up dual screens and that potentially turns out to be a nasty plot Alolan Persian, then he can nasty plot and in theory potentially 1v1 the rest of my team behind screens. So this has just got really bad. Now I'm going to switch out here into my Skuntank just on the slight off chance that he would not be knocked out by Toxic and Hail damage, so I could go for the Defog. But if he is knocked out by the Hail and by the Toxic damage, at least by bringing in my Skuntank, I can potentially go for the Defog, as he may want to try and go for the Nasty Plot if he was a Nasty Plot variant of Alolan Persian, which means getting rid of the screens will put me in a pretty decent-ish scenario, and as long as I don't get unlucky, I should be able to beat his Alolan Persian with the combination of my Floatzel, my Abomasnow, and my Magmortar that are still in the back. Magmortar is actually assault vested, so even if he had got the +2, I can still live a Dark Pulse really easily, I think. So turns out that he's not Nasty Plot, so I was kind of panicking for no reason there, and I will be able to at least get off this aftermath damage on the Alolan Persian, making it a little bit easier for me to beat with the rest of my team. However, though, he does unfortunately still have the dual screens up, and those are still a problem. And then I miss Focus Blast with my Floatzel as foul play is an easy 2-hit KO, and then I lose the speed tie. So unfortunately, Floatzel kind of blinded by Persian and the dual screens apparently. Is not able to connect, and this is getting even worse because this damn Persian is turning out to be a humongous problem behind these screens. So turns out that he's gonna waste his Z move. Well, not waste his Z move, I guess, but he's gonna pop his Z move to actually go for the Black Hole Eclipse, as opposed to what Alolan Persian would typically do, and that is go for Z Parting Shot. But because he's got no more team members on his team, there's no real reason for him to do that. So he's gonna get off a solid amount of damage here with the Black Hole Eclipse, as thankfully I don't miss my Fire Blast, but the Fire Blast does not do as much damage as I would have hoped for. So I'm going to make a bit of an odd play here into my Abomasnow. The main reason I did this was because I wanted to get up the hail. If anything, I can hopefully like pivot around his Alolan. I was going to say it's his team, but this damn Alolan Persian is just 1v1ing the rest of my team here, hello? So I have to pivot around this thing so Hail can just start chipping him down slowly but surely, and then I can put him in range of where I can knock him out with the Ice Shard if he does somehow still end up having the Reflect up. But if I'm not mistaken, I think this is actually his final turn of the Reflect, if I'm not mistaken, or it was the turn before. No, Light Screen went down. Either way though, as long as I can bring in a Abomasnow here, hit my Ice Shard, I should put him in range of where Hail will at least be able to knock him out if he ends up knocking me out. Thankfully though, I do knock him out here with the Ice Shard, and I'm able to just barely pull out the 2-0 victory, man. Like, that's that's the crazy part about this battle. Like, Alolan Persian could have realistically 1v1'd 5 of my Pokemon that I had left, and he managed to bring it down to just barely a 2-0 loss. So yeah, that was kind of crazy, and what really made this battle just that more fun to me, like that a little bit funnier to me. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to hammer arm that like button down below, and to answer the question of the day. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. I did upload another video earlier today, so if you guys want to go check that out, then go check that out. So yeah, later everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6ftHax. 6ftHax, hacks. Yeah. 6'6" hacks. Yeah. 6'6" hacks.